Imagine you need to build a country, but you have no land, no water, no oil, no agriculture, no military depth, no future. In the 1960s, Singapore was poorer than many African states. Today, it's richer than most of Europe. This wasn't luck, and it wasn't culture. It was a choice. When Singapore gained independence in 1965, many believed it would not survive. It wasn't liberated by history. It was expelled. Expelled from Malaysia, surrounded by larger neighbors, divided along ethnic lines, made economically irrelevant. On the island were only 3 million people, Malays, Chinese, Indians, constantly ready for conflict. No agricultural base, no strategic depth, no margin for error. But within one generation, Singapore did what dozens of newly independent states failed to do. It worked. And it worked more efficiently than countries with far greater resources. The real question doesn't sound like, how did it become rich? The real question is, why did it work when others with far more failed? Most countries fail for one simple reason. They inherit broken systems, and then they protect them. Singapore couldn't, because it had nothing to protect. No landed aristocracy, no powerful landowners, no military caste with historical privileges, no ruling class that inherited power and position. Compare this to African countries that gained independence at the same time. They had tribal elders who demanded influence, colonial administrators who stayed and became part of the elite, land magnates who controlled resources and finances. These people wouldn't allow the system to change because the system fed them. Singapore didn't have this burden, and this absence was critical. Because when you have no entrenched elite, you don't protect the past, you redesign the future. Singapore wasn't forced to reform by the will of the people. It was forced to work by circumstances, and this created a rare advantage: absolute flexibility. No weight of history, no burden of tradition, no political taboos you can't touch. Only results, only efficiency, only the necessity to survive tomorrow. Singapore made one decision early on, a decision most countries avoid. It chose competence over ideology. Its leader, Lee Kuan Yew, was a rare man. He graduated from Oxford. He was a British lawyer. He understood how systems work. And when he came to power, he didn't do what other leaders in developing countries did. He didn't promise freedom first. He didn't promise greatness. He didn't promise justice. He promised only one thing: order first. Not democracy before stability. Not ideological slogans before results. Clean streets, reliable courts, predictable rules, fair law. And people agreed because they saw results. In African countries, the same period was a time of civil wars, coups, economic collapse, refugees. In Singapore, safety, jobs, water from the tap. This didn't sound fashionable at UN conferences, and it didn't please all Western critics who wanted to see Singapore democratic. But it was brutally effective. While other nations debated national identity and forms of government, Singapore optimized execution. While other countries wrote constitutions searching for perfect democracy, Singapore asked only one question: what works? Not what is just, not what is beautiful, not what is historically correct, not what is Western, simply what produces results. And this single reorientation changed everything. Singapore understood what most states ignore. People respond to incentives, not speeches. Forget calls to virtue, forget national ideas. People do what is profitable for them. So Lee Kuan Yew designed the system around this fact. Civil servants were paid like top corporate executives, not like bureaucrats, like CEOs. Judges earned more than politicians, because honest courts aren't a luxury, they're infrastructure. Corruption wasn't just illegal, it was unprofitable. Because punishment was severe, public, and inevitable, not rumors, reality. If you performed well, you advanced quickly. If you failed, you left. Quietly, quickly, without scandal. No second chances for politics. No respectful retirement for old officials. Simply failed. You're out. The system didn't rely on people's virtue. It relied on structure. It didn't expect people to be angels. It made corruption too expensive to attempt. This distinction changed everything, because it shifted the focus from who rules to how does the system respond to wrongdoing. Compare this to African countries of the same period. Officials stole there. Why? Because punishment was incredibly unlikely. Because the thief was a friend of the ruling class. Because justice was something written on paper, not functioning in reality. Singapore flipped this logic. Here, justice worked. Every time. Singapore didn't close itself off from the world. This would have been logical protection for a small country surrounded by enemies. But Singapore opened up, but not blindly. No protectionism, no trade wars, no nationalist economics. Instead, free global trade, foreign capital, multinational corporations, but with conditions. Foreign companies were welcome, but they had to obey the law, that same law that actually works. Train local workers, transfer technology and knowledge, pay full taxes. Singapore didn't resist globalization, it engineered it. Openness without chaos, control without isolation. This balance is rare, because most countries choose either isolation and degrade, or total openness and lose control. Singapore chose a third path, managed integration. It allowed the world's best companies to come to the island, but it took the best employees of those companies for its own government. It allowed foreign investors to make profits, but demanded they invest in the island's infrastructure. This wasn't generosity. This was mathematics. Many states that gained independence had more resources, more land, more people, more mineral wealth. Indonesia had 100 times more population and the richest natural resources in the region. Malaysia had export agriculture and tin. The Philippines had fertile land and colonial infrastructure, but they copied the wrong things. They copied constitutions from textbooks, political slogans, flags, and national anthems, the form of independence. Singapore copied something completely different. It copied accounting systems, logistics models, incentive structures, management processes. Other countries tried to look independent. Singapore tried to work. Other countries treated power as prestige, as a crown, as a tool for enrichment. Singapore treated power as management, as a tool for organization, as a method of converting resources into results. And this difference compounds every year, because systems that work scale up. Systems that don't work degrade. Indonesia, with its resources, became choked with corruption. Singapore, with its lack of resources, became cleaner and more organized every year. Singapore proves an uncomfortable truth. Success doesn't require size, resources, historical greatness, demographic advantage. Success requires systems that reward competence, punish failure, scale discipline, convert ideas into action. Most countries fail not because they are poor. They fail because their systems protect the wrong people. They protect corruption for historical traditions. They protect inefficiency for national pride. They protect failure for ideological purity. They protect thieves because they're connected to the ruling party. Singapore didn't ask, who deserves power? It asked, what produces results? And then it built everything around the answer. It was a choice, cold, rational, unpopular. A choice in favor of working systems over beautiful slogans. A choice in favor of results over ideology. And that's why it worked.